fairly controversial rezoning case that reflected a lack of process of communication among the neighborhoods, where decisions that one neighborhood was proposing could have had some very negative precedential effects for other neighborhoods in the NPUF cluster. And what we're proposing to do is to allow those discussions to occur within the zoning committee of the NPU, so that we can hopefully work those elements out and then have a fairly unified recommendation to the neighborhood and to the neighbors, who will have the same vote that they've always had. And so that's really the broad three categories.
So those are the proposals, is there?
Are they highlighted on changes?
All of the,
Incorporated?
this is a fairly detailed document that itemizes each of the changes, the timetable that we used in order to announce the changes, because they are fairly, there's a lot of them, although maybe not so significant in each case. And then what the current language is and what the proposed language is. This is the last of the meetings that Charlie and I will go to. We've been to each of the 4 neighborhoods and the planning
And
committee.
each of the planning committees.
Each of the planning committees. Because we want to have some process change, so process change will affect the neighborhoods as well. And so all of that's itemized here. There are some changes. From the discussions we've had, there are some modifications that will be made, and our intent is to get an updated document up on the web
That will reflect changes.
that will reflect the changes,
From
the final changes.
So the final proposal will be marked to show changes from current, and that will be up on the web. We're hoping by
Wednesday night,
if
right?
we're busy tomorrow.
Yes. I'll send you an email.
So that people have it in advance of the NPU meeting next Monday.
And the other big change, and I think Charlie mentioned, is part of this cleanup, is one of the things I'd like to do is to consolidate the committees. The NPU currently has a long list of committees that they've had for the last forever years. And many of them no longer have chairs. Many of them are just one-person committees. They're not very operational. So by consolidating those into a small group of 5, we can have multiple members of the group and try and get chairs to focus on what's important across the NPU, not for a specific neighborhood. What I found is that our neighborhoods have such good committee structures anyway. We just need to have someone that can manage that umbrella over all of them.
You had a question, Nan?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for doing this. It's
Oh.
obviously a lot of work and thought and really well presented. So and you probably already put this into your next draft, but under A, proposed new language 1, where it says attend one neighborhood civic association meeting prior to the NPUF meeting, I thought it might be worth specifying that they attend the neighborhood in which they're located, where they're located.
Good point, thank you.
Specify.
Yes, yeah, we don't want them to.
It's easier to approve.
Yeah, we're not going to send everybody to Piedmont Heights.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we're going to send everybody to Virginia-Highland.
Yeah, we can. All right. Anyway, great job, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments? Would this board like to vote to recommend or not to recommend? I would suggest that we recommend. I think it's a bit aspirational. We surely hope it works out. It would be good if it did.
Well, and that's the other thing, we can, if it doesn't
Right.
work out, we can always redo.
Right, if we find that the consent agenda or the NPU zoning committee is not functioning the way we anticipated, then we can change the bylaws next year or the year.
And I'm sure you all will let us know.
Right.
We just want y'all to have to go movie games.
The NPU meetings can take a long time because there's some of the business of this group plus 3 other neighborhoods. So I'll make a motion to recommend approval. Is there a second?
Second.
I will note that the consent agenda is a unanimous consent piece, so if anybody has, in no way should this intended or should it result in less discussion at the NPU if anybody has anything to discuss. Is there further discussion, questions from anyone?
Can I just add that the BZA is also going to a consent agenda process, which should really speed things up all along the way.
Well, we're not talking about the VCA, but I couldn't help but notice, I was at the meeting with you where they brought that up, where if you have conditions, as we condition everything, the site plan won't qualify, so we're gonna be more popular with the VCA than ever before.
That's because I like being on
I
camera.
predict, since almost no NPUF agenda item will qualify for the consent agenda, almost
We
none.
might want to talk to them about their consent agenda process.
Well, they retreated, they didn't charge forward, they retreated and made that decision. And when you retreat, you can't see people because they run backwards and you can't find them, so we all missed that. Is there further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. We will support this the board will support it. The way the NPU works is you walk in the door and you vote.
Right,
So you're a resident, so
With proof of residence.
Right, so.
this is a symbolic support.
But we appreciate that,
Yes.
and it's 95% likelihood that they'll be voted on at next Monday's meeting, so we would, those who are in favor of it and want to support it, if you could come to the NPU meeting, we'd be very appreciative of
Great.
that. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Charlie. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
The next item, Mr. Brandenberger, to the Parks Committee.
Yep,
You
so
have a couple of updates for us.
this is a really quick update. We completed a fairly rigorous work day last Friday at John Howell with Walter Bland and his entire crew, along with some workers from Georgia Works. If you've driven by there lately, you'll see probably 4 or 5 large piles of debris. Basically, the work basically centered around spreading out about 2 truckloads of mulch on the Barnett side of the park to help the trees out there, doing a fair number of tree pruning and then removing of invasives and other weeds throughout the entire park. So I think that they were very successful, and hopefully you guys will appreciate the work. Other updates, we've continued to kind of work on or make progress with the improvements that we've been publicizing for John Howell Park, including receiving verbal approval from the Parks Design Committee of the plans, publicizing the plans in the voice. We held several public walkthroughs, for lack of a better term, where interested parties could walk through and talk about the proposed improvements. So we've reached out and asked for ballpark cost estimates from our landscape architect, Peter Frawley. I think those estimates right now, we haven't received anything formal back yet, but the entire project, if everything was to move forward, looks as though it could be in the $50,000 to $70,000 price range for all of the improvements. As you know, if you paid attention, we can get you blueprints of what we're talking about, but most of it centers around increasing the sustainability, lowering the maintenance of the park, so making things more less maintenance oriented. Obviously, there's a safety concern with some of the things, and then really improving the beauty and appearance on a long-term basis of the park. So that's kind of the update there. Why I'm raising this now is we're quickly approaching the deadline to apply for a matching grant through Park Pride, what's known as their community building grant, which is equivalent to the funding that we're going to acquire. So that application needs to be submitted by the 26th of this month. So I'll stop and ask if there are any questions about the project, and then realistically I'll go to make a motion that the board approve up to and not to exceed $35,000 for our portion in cash of the matching portion for the total investment that went through. Questions from?
I'll second the motion to get it on the table, but let's any questions from the board?
And then it could be less, right?
Yeah, definitely could be less. We don't have a formal, we don't have bids in or anything like that, so we're really just kind of going through the motion so that we can apply for the grant. And if it's less, then obviously it's less, and also we'll receive as much in the matching grant.
Is the grant fairly easy to prepare?
I know, Catherine, we were kind of hoping to talk to you, in fact.
Would you like to help?
No.
And a
You
volunteer, so
volunteer?
we asked it.
She's written many successful grants, and we would love to have you
Is
on.
it a complicated?
It's not terrible. We did, Lauren and I did the previous one, and it worked out okay. I mean, and in fact, I think between that, the wording that we used there, which provided good background, the updates that David did on for the Voice a couple of weeks ago about what's in this one and the general update. I'm trying to do a little bridge article to update them. I think we're.
We've got the pieces, it just.
I think we're gonna have to polish it a great deal.
What's our deadline here?
26.
6.
This is in this grant, unlike the previous one, when we had a good deal of match, but it didn't matter because we had to put up enough cash that there was no chance of substituting. We qualified. If we'd had another $20,000 in cash, we could have offered a lot of match, but it didn't matter. We needed that cash. And this one, I'm optimistic that some of this can be done in grant, in match, and volunteer labor. There are formulas for using that, as you know, and that includes all the time. And David put in a nearly full day last Friday, and I put in almost a quarter of a day watching David last Friday. But and he did more work yesterday up at the island up on the North Virginia and Virginia. So between that and all the other time and volunteer effort that folks put in, matching funds, we can document all this.
Sure.
We have some other funds dedicated. We're hopeful that Trees Atlanta believes they have some plans, so we could use all of that as matching funds. And this work is not as major, not nearly as major, and we are optimistic that we can cleverly manage this and not spend anything like that amount of money. On the other hand, everything seems to cost more than we always think it does. What a surprise. So we want to have the margin.
Some of the big variables are if we build out the brick work, and that's fairly expensive. I think estimates of that were like $27,000 in and of itself. So there are variables in there. There are fences that are going to be built. There's nothing nearly as significant as was done last year or the year prior, but things add up before you know it. So, anything else?
The plants will be excellent plants, and the object is to move this to as a low. David hit it on the nail on the head. We're trying to go for a low maintenance, stable, easier to maintain, hardy. It's bulletproof park as we have. It looks good, stays sharp, remains as well lit. 2 lights are out now, so we can't brag about their all being on now. That's not our purview, but anyway. Are there any other questions or comments? All right, there's a motion on the floor in a second. All those in favor of authorizing us to claim as necessary up to $35,000 in the grant proposal that's submitted 2 weeks from today, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. But we have the North Highland Park update.
Yeah. So update with North Highland Park. We hired an electrician to go in and actually do some repairs to the electrical work. Motion sensor, but the photoelectric sensor that tells the lights when to go on and off at night had been broken. There was some breaker that had been broken, so I think that was very expensive to the tune of about $200, but those repairs were successfully made. Is that what you were talking about in North Highland?
Yeah, that, and we have a proposal from them to switch everything to LED, which when Jess first looked at it a couple of years ago, this is Jess's professional field. I'm sorry she's not here to explain it in detail, but it's all in her hands. With the new proposal, it would seem cost prohibitive then. The new proposal's down under $2,000, and I don't think we need to worry about it at this meeting. We can bring it back up at the next meeting, but we do have a proposal to switch to involves changing the voltage and doing some work because this technology didn't exist 5 years ago, and it is there now.
And then we get a rebate.
We would get, Jess can help us with the rebates, and it'll be more light at, I believe, about a fourth of the electrical cost, which we pay all of there. So it would be awesome, and I think the payback might be in y'all's lifetime, if not mine.
So we had the LEDs go in, just curious really quick, that's a few LED. Yeah, we've got them on our street, and it's night and day. I can actually
The difference is amazing.
Yeah, I can actually see the street from my house, which I'm only 30 feet away, so. Anyhow, okay, so I don't think we need to make a motion on that, just more of an update. And Jack, I do have, well, I guess Robin's not here, but I did have I'm gonna cover the holiday tree thing.
Why don't you go ahead and we'll just move right on to the next item, the 2015, And let me give the tour of homes, because
Okay.
Robin's parents are in town, mom's in town, and she's doing the tour. We're on schedule. Your chance to volunteer, which everybody on this board will do, but everybody's chances to volunteer, the site is up. If you've signed up before, you got a request. If you didn't, we'll make sure there's a link to it on the website. There probably is now, and if there's not, we'll make sure soon. The great spots are going soon. If you're not careful, you'll be working the middle shift on Sunday, which goodness gracious. But please, we do need the volunteers again. We need extras. So please do go to the website, volunteer for the tour. It's actually great fun. It's one of my favorite events in Virginia-Highland year. Everybody's in a great mood. And the houses are either wonderful, according to your taste, or garishly overbuilt. Either way, terrific,
Exciting.
fun. And
Entertaining.
so no matter what, you can either, enjoy the Dickens out of it, or silently, I hope, have another opinion. But anyway, it's a great event. Everybody's in a good mood generally, and it's just fun. So please do come and volunteer, and Ms. Barano would deeply appreciate it if you did make her life very easy. So David, the tree lighting, please. Yes, please. Did you have
Tree lighting, yeah.
Tree lighting, let's hear it.
Yeah, so, together with Robin, and primarily Robin, and then I'm assisting her, would like to actually kind of spearhead a holiday tree to be placed at North Highland Park throughout the month of December. Some of the highlights would basically be that we would like to obtain the tree from the Inman Park PTA tree sale that normally happens at
When are they
Inman.
doing it this year?
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So,
there were rumors.
My backyard.
yeah, so,
Volunteer
yeah,
if you don't.
I guess a quick update is, last word is they do not have a location yet worked out. There's been a couple different ideas thrown about, and I think one more. So anyway, back on point, hopefully the Inman Park PTA would potentially donate the tree, but we're thinking just like 6 or 8 feet. We haven't really decided on placement yet. It is an association with the business association, so a lot of the businesses are actually excited about having carolers and generating interest from their businesses and kind of making that more of a destination so that they get some return on investment, or not really miss anything, but they get some uplift in business from that and more traffic. We're looking at doing pressed aluminum garland, which will be procured from In-Town Ace, or excuse me, from 10,000 Villages, sorry, and then lights from Ace, In-Town Ace Hardware. So that's kind of the plan. I think one, key other point is we plan on removing the tree on the 23rd or the 24th, depending upon how things go, and actually donating the tree to Briarcliff Summit down on the corner of Ponce and Highland, so that the tenants there and the residents there get the benefit of having a nice Christmas tree.
Wait, David, when were you thinking about putting it up?
We haven't really decided yet. I haven't talked to Robin about that. I mean, we talked about it, but I don't know, Jack, have you heard anything like?
No, but I assure you Robin has an idea.
Yeah.
And you definitely want North Highland Park, I mean, the park is the reason to drive traffic.
Yeah,
to
it's
that.
really, it's,
I see.
well, it's nice for the community, but
Yeah.
also it is,
Visible.
ulterior goal is to
Yeah.
drive traffic to the
Sure.
businesses and give them the boost in a more of a holiday feel, similar to what happens
Sure.
at the corner up here.
I was just thinking if there's a way to tie in, I know the Santa-thon, I think it's the 12th, right, that Lola's
Yeah, yeah,
doing, that there
Yeah.
might be some way
that's a
to
good idea.
tie, I mean, it's 2 different segments of the, or some similar activity like they did the ornaments, or,
Yeah.
you know, there could be something that could be both a small fundraiser or something,
So
where
I'm
the
not
kids come.
suggesting we put a tree on every corner, I'm okay with it.
All right, we're really doing,
So,
okay.
We estimate that the total cost, not,
Not
assuming that the
exceed.
tree, this one will be an NTE, that the tree is not, or if the tree is donated, probably $225 for the total investment.
Sure.
If we have to buy the tree, then that probably adds another $75 or
Okay, we can-
$100 to it, so. I guess, are there any questions? If not, I would like to make we'll stop and ask if there are questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, also, the business association is gonna actively decorate the
Yep.
neighborhood as well.
That's,
Nice.
yeah, I didn't mention that.
Yeah,
You're correct.
they are. We do the lights above the buildings on both sides there.
Yeah,
And then we're also gonna do the lanterns, the post. We did the bows last year, we're gonna try to expand that this year and do more.
So we should talk, a lot of that, a lot of the apparatus that's used to hang those sorts of things is, and the bows are easy, right, but that's not going to go. Some of the apparatus, well, some of it's in disrepair, but we'll parlay that for a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to help with that. So anyway, net is, motion to approve the concept of the holiday tree lighting, along with expenditure of $225.
As long as we get 300, not to exceed 300.
Not to exceed $300.
I think up to $500.
Not to exceed
Yeah, that's
500.
If
fair.
there are
Yeah.
unseen
Sure.
expenses, there's no need to.
Right, come back. Yep, fine by me.
You're in,
So,
David.
All in favor? Raise your hand, thank you. Excellent. We are down to I'll make note of the calendar notes here, and I have no others, but if there's new business or anyone would like to raise anything.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am?
There was an election last month,
I
and
remember
I'm
that.
assuming that there was an organizational meeting of the board. I was just wondering what the results of that were.
Yes, I think it's on the web, but perhaps we haven't put it up. In any case, we'll go around and let's see, the safety committee is Jennifer and Peggy. David is heading parks. Lauren and I are on that with him. Fundraising, which in this case means Summerfest, our sole representative, a brave representative here, is Paige. The budget committee is, as it was, consists of the treasurer, which name is Peggy, and the president and vice president, and planning. I'm sorry? Home tour, which is Angelica and Robin, and planning committee is, at this table is Jennifer and me and Catherine and David and 2 or 3 people who are Jess and 2 or 3 people who are not on the board. We have a large planning committee, we appreciate them all, but we'll see that it's posted.
Lola is planning on an article in the October 15th Voice
Okay.
outlining this.
Thank you very much.
And Debbie, just, we will be posting it on the website, but Jack kind of skipped over the officers, or you mentioned 1 or 2. So the president is Jack,
Okay.
the vice president is Jess, the treasurer is Peggy, and I'm the secretary. And I have already typed it all up, and it just needs to be posted on the website. So what we did is it'll list the officers as well as the updated committee list.
Thank you.
Any other matters to come before us? Absent any, the meeting is adjourned at 8:26. Thank you everyone for coming.